South Sudan with some disturbing news. At least 120 women, including minors, have been raped in the capital, Juba, following the recent fighting. United Nations spokesperson Farhan Haq says the peacekeeping mission in the country is still receiving reports of sexual violence, including rape and gang rapes. Alleged perpetrators are soldiers in uniform and men in plain clothes. The assaults are said to have taken place at UN campsites where civilians are seeking refuge from the clashes. Let's get you more on that disturbing story. I'm joined live from New York by our UN correspondent, Lorna Shadik. Lorna, horrific stories of rape there coming out of South Sudan and some serious accusations that the UN is failing to protect civilians in South Sudan. Has the UN responded, though, to these accusations?
Well, the UN Secretary General spokesman has said that the organisation, of course, takes these allegations very seriously. And he said that if peacekeepers did indeed fail to help civilians in distress, then that should be taken very seriously and there should be serious repercussions, as he put it. He also said that the Force Command for UNMISS, that is the UN's mission in South Sudan, is looking into these allegations now, and added that UN peacekeepers are stepping up their patrols in the affected areas in response to these allegations. In particular to escort women who need to collect firewood outside these camps. They will now be given peacekeeper escorts as a result of the allegations. And he did call on all parties to immediately sanction troops responsible for standing by and failing to help. But the AP, which brought attention to these allegations in the first place, does say that the UN spokesperson for the mission in South Sudan failed to explain why those UN troops might have decided not to intervene in the first place. And it's worth mentioning as well that South Sudan did come up this morning here in New York at a debate on peace building in Africa when Ban Ki-moon himself mentioned South Sudan as a country on the brink of an abyss. He used very dramatic language and also said that opportunities for peace in the country have been squandered. But perhaps it's also worth stressing that the UNMISS mandate, which comes up for renewal at the end of this week, in fact, was initially to support the peace-building process after the peace agreement was signed last year. So perhaps, given the recent outbreaks of violence, once again, the mandate may need to change in order to make it clearer to troops that they are there primarily for the protection of civilians, as well as for enforcing that peace agreement.